Ready to? It's
All right.
Now it is.
It's interesting that there's no timer. Like there should be like a countdown.
It's like 3, 2, 1. It doesn't do it automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to get this started?
I am so ready to get this started. Welcome to the Mid-Geek Crisis. I am cautious.
Episode 85. My name is
Are we-
Joe. Yeah, man. Oh wait, where are we at? Where are we at? There we are. Okay. For some reason I was getting weird notifications. Okay. What is it's the first time we've done this?
Yes.
All right,
85 episodes in is the first time we've had to
First
do
time
this.
we do it. Every time. Makes it feel good. Every time.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Adam DJ Brett. Thank you for joining. Let's kick off the credits or the music. Credits? Yeah. Roll the credits.
Roll it. Roll that footage. Where are we at? There we go. Does that sound like it's playing double?
Yes. Thought it was intentional, but I don't know.
It sounds like it's stuttering, like it's doubling up.
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't know. It plays fine when I'm not, and then when I actually play it live, it plays double. I don't know what the deal is.
StreamYard.
Yes, I am still using StreamYard. Adam, if you're paying attention, I was supposed to flip over and try out a different service today, and we found a bug or an issue that I didn't like, and that was
Lack of a feature.
And so I had to roll back quickly, and I'll figure it out later. It wasn't ready to go live. So welcome to the Mid-Geek Crisis, episode 85. My name is Joe the Afterman, and my partner in crime, Pedro.
Cautious Online.
Cautious. Yeah, it's another week.
I cannot believe we're midway through July. It is insane.
I asked Siri how many days it's been since March 13th, which was the official first day when I started. Stay home, and we are at 130 days.
Yeah, we have a calendar. We put stickers up on there. So yeah, I think we went March 15th. We might have been. Wait, how did you wind up?
I stayed home 2 days earlier. So 17th was a Monday, which was St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
that's when I think ours was like the 15th.
Yeah, so 17th was that first Monday that everyone went back but wasn't. Mm-hmm. And then 15th was Saturday, right? So Friday was the 14th. The 13th, I took 2 days off.
Hey, Rose. Welcome aboard, Tim, Adam, everybody. Thanks for joining Sibling Streamer. Great show earlier on your Star Wars Galaxies game. Really enjoyed you traversing the planet for 10 minutes. It was great. It was awesome. IT, Sibling Streamers are on at, I want to say 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock or 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. 30 minutes. They're playing Star Wars Galaxies, and I guess
they're like an hour, right?
Out there, yeah. It was. It's good. It's a nostalgic trip down memory lane on why games need to evolve after 15, 20 years. So, but I didn't come on here to blast Star Wars again. We do that a lot on the Mid-Geek Crisis because we're old geeks. So yeah,
we only blast it because we love it.
Yes, it's true. We want it to be better.
Want it to be better.
I hope everyone's enjoying their summer. I know I am.
Isn't he festive, folks? Look at him. He's like in a Hawaiian shirt. I swear to God, it's not Friday. It's like Hawaiian.
I'm here for the summer spotlight, the Xbox Live Summer Spotlight. I'm thrilled for it. So I dressed for it. Joe reminded me that they put it out there, and I completely forgot.
They did. So it's supposed to be a collection. And before I'm going to share something on my end first.
Sure. There you go, Rolls. Yeah, sports are coming back. I guess Dr. Fauci is going to be pitching at the Nationals. He's going to be the first pitch at the Nationals game if you're a Nationals fan. Cautious looking like Joe. I think Joe's looking like cautious, Tim. I want to make it clear here. I'm the older, more handsome gentleman, and Joe's always biting my style. Next week, he's going to be wearing a Hawaiian shirt, guaranteed.
Yeah, you know it. We got this summer event that's going to be kicked off today that Xbox announced, which I think was kind of interesting. They did what they're doing is they're. Do you remember way back, and again, you were probably early on in the 360 lifespan. There was an E3.
Mhm.
I think it was E3 like 2005 or six,
Mhm.
and they did a Xbox at E3 kind of thing.
Sure.
And what they did was they announced all these games at E3, and then immediately after they announced it, they put the demo up.
Right. They put some demos up on
They
the
put
game. Sure.
so that you could play these demos live. Basically, you could play these E3 exclusive only at E3 games downloaded to your Xbox, which was kind of a whole new thing. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is how the digital age is going to be. We can play these early releases beforehand," and it never happened again. I think developers felt like maybe they didn't want their unfinished code out there,
Oh,
which
that's fair too. Also, like 15 years ago, I had a shitty internet connection, so downloading more than one demo was,
sure, and yeah,
Sure.
the demos were like 3, 4, 5 gigs, 10 gigs,
Mhm.
and that was pretty big at the time. So yeah,
I
sure.
would scoff at that with like a 10 gig demo. What
That's
am I
a
only going to get 20 hours from that thing?
that's a patch. That's a day one
You're
patch.
right. That is a day one
That's
patch.
day one patch. 31
If
gigs. I'm looking at
if
you,
you're
Street
lucky.
Fighter.
So
No.
are they doing it again? Is that what you're saying
So
here?
I think what they're doing here is, and I'm gonna take this off for so there's a lot of distraction here. I'm gonna run through this and we're gonna talk a little bit about it. I'm gonna show you the little trailer that they announced, but I also want to kind of jump on a topic that I think maybe you want to chime in on, and maybe others can chime in on in the channel that watch us. And again, I don't like to pick sides on who I prefer in the whole console genre, like Sony, Xbox, Nintendo. They're all fantastic. I own them all. But I will say that Microsoft has been very good to the indie community this
To the
time around.
indie community?
Yeah, to the indie developers. I don't remember the last time Sony was like, "Hey, here's all these indie games. Let's just talk indie." I feel like Sony really likes to talk about how amazing their first party
Well,
games.
Sony's always focused on their hardware, right? Sony's always about their teraflops and digibits and whatever the heck they're called, right?
Well,
I feel like
yeah.
Microsoft's always come out and been like, look at their studios, and we've got Halo, right? They're always excited to pimp their
Well,
games out.
I think it's the opposite. Like, so Xbox for a while took the hey, look, we've got big bad Xbox, and then Sony came out and like kind of made them eat humble pie because the PlayStation 4 was more powerful than the Xbox originally, and then they were like, well, here's Xbox One X, and then it totally stomped on anything Sony put out, even the Pro, power wise, but exclusive wise, Sony still had all of their yummy first party.
Didn't get me to Switch. I mean,
No, I mean they're not, because they're not multiplayer games. They're
I wonder
all,
how many people actually did. Like, you have two console owners, and then you have folks who are dedicated to their own consoles, right?
right. So Xbox went, instead of saying, hey, they did buy a bunch of studios. Tracking up to like 5 years ago, they've been buying all these studios. They bought. I mean, We Love Fine is now part of their stable of studios. And Obsidian Entertainment, I think, is one of them as well. They bought them.
Got Double Fine. Yep.
I mean, so they've got a big, but they haven't announced anything yet. So, next week on the 27th, we're gonna have a big Xbox event. I think that's where they're gonna finally release the guns.
Yep.
And but what's nice here is, again, for the past few weeks they've been doing these summer game fests, summer spotlights for the developers, and they finally kind of had a culmination where they're going to have all of these demos out for by indie developers.
So are you a download a demo guy?
I am not.
Neither am I.
I wasn't, because it really depended on the demo. Like, if the demo felt like it was something really, like it got a little buzz, then I'd hear about it. But this seems to be a lot of content. I mean, if you're looking at this is a lot of content that they're going to like release.
So curious on the whole the chat channel, right? Throw it up there if you want to. Yeah, too many games to spend your time demoing, right? It's ridiculous. So too many. If you have an Xbox Pass, you've got all these games you can play for free. And yeah, exactly. I mean, Adam, DJ, Brett, yeah, don't pay for betas anymore, everybody, right? So there is that lesson that I say over and over again. If you're good at something, don't do it for free, is the old expression, right? But also, demos on the Xbox, they clutter up your screen, right? So if you want to go back and download other games, the demos are all there, And if you here's the stupidest frustration ever. First world problem. If you ever want to hear one, if you download the demo, it activates the achievements even if you don't buy the real game. So I will always have 0 out of 1,000 on Anthem, for example, because I downloaded the demo to try it, and I will never get the achievements because when you have the demo, it doesn't unlock achievements for it. So like a lot of these games like ruin your Chivo things because you wind up
your
with
ratio is like your
not ratio. Ratio doesn't. There isn't that a stat, but like when you're scrolling down and you're like, yeah, look at all these Chivos I got for myself. You see all these 0s out of 1,000, and you're like, why? This stupid demos cluttering up my list of games that I played. And again, it's a stupid like nonsense problem. But it's one of the small things that makes me not want to download demos. I want to download some of these games, right? Like I want to play some of these games. What? So Sibling Streamer and I were talking about Star Wars Galaxies, and I own this. Star Wars Galaxies was one of the first ones out there to put out Chivos, right? I think they gave Chivos for like discovering lore bits or something to that effect.
Yeah,
which was a big deal. And then
it was actually EverQuest had them first because they were Sony. We're going to talk about, but he's going to give them to Star
points
Wars.
Of interest, yeah.
But yes, points of interest. The points of interest definitely started at the Sony Entertainment level, for sure. So
yep. There you go, Star Wars Galaxies. I take everything back. Star Wars Galaxies is the greatest game ever made. All right, Sibling Streamer, there you go.
So I want to show this little trailer. I thought it was pretty interesting here.
Play that clip over and over again on Twitch for me.
Everybody talking about, take a look.
Yeah.
Everybody watching out. It's impossible to lock them out. We're talking big time. Hit them with a large amount. You got one shot, only one stop. Keep your eyes.
So I know that one. Destroy all humans. Yep, that was
the Rock of Ages looked pretty fun too.
That's PAX East. This game looks interesting, but it looks PvP, right? That looks.
I think I had a buddy of mine playing that earlier.
I wonder what Merchant of the Skies is. Looks like a great economic game. This game was great.
Super hot. So this is the
I'm
sequel.
Excited. Yep. Is it a sequel or an addition? I thought they gave it out to free.
They were going to make it a DLC, and then it became a full game. Look, Samurai Jack, man.
Now this is an old game, right?
That's a whole new one. Yeah.
How are they making new games for Samurai Jack? Who's their
I want it.
Of course, you're probably going to buy the limited edition box set.
Sure.
Yeah, I get it. Another skateboarding game, great.
This looks great. Carrion.
Metroidvania kind of game.
You play like an alien life form, and you grow bigger, and you're like killing.
So you like play the thing?
You're the monster. Yeah, you're the thing. You're the monster.
Oh, maybe I can get behind that.
Yeah.
That's cool. So that's great. We got some indie games you could try out and have fun. I need to note down Carrion. That seems like a very cool thing.
So you're
I was like, I don't want to play another Metroidvania.
Yeah, you escape the lab, and so all those people shooting are like the people that work there. You're like getting bigger and stronger, and your tentacles are growing out.
They're eating them, so you got to start small, and then you get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Stronger.
I can get behind that.
Definitely interested about that. So
that's cool.
I totally went full. Actually, oh my God, you're right. I did. I totally did. Well, actually. So
the Mid-Geek Crisis, of course, we did.
He's going to bring us to our next part of it.
That's great.
Breaking news, a new Splatfest was announced. So it looks like Splatoon 2 is back on the Splatfest. I talked about this many moons ago here at the show. Again, content that is constantly being added to a game, and Splatoon was it was almost 2 years worth of content that was given, plus weekly Splatfests, kind of weekend festivals. And after 2 years, they were like, okay, we're done. We gave you a DLC. We're done. Now it looks like Nintendo reactivated and started doing these Splatfests.
That's awesome. So would it be on the second one? Because there was a part 2, right?
Yep, it's on part 2.
This is part of their mini direct, their mini Nintendo.
No,
direct?
so
different.
Includes one more Splatfest. That was the May one. So this was one that they had in May, and now they're doing another one later on this coming month. So they just announced it.
Oh, bold move hitting the back button on your search screen there.
That's scary.
Who knows what tabs were up? Bold move. Very nice. I like it. So they did do a mini direct though. There was a mini direct for Nintendo, right?
Yeah. So it was a third-party direct.
Direct.
But let's talk a little
bit. Not
a
Nintendo Direct?
It was a Nintendo Direct, but it was regarding third-party games on the Switch. Right. So there was some exciting stuff, but I think they definitely I'm some RPGs that have been that I've been looking forward to. Part 4 of, I can never say it. I know the acronym, right? It's like SGT. Anywho, it's one of the big powerhouses. I think from Atlas or whatever is getting a game.
Atlas makes some great games, sure, but it's not Atrian's Odyssey, right?
No.
Is there an Atrian's Odyssey on the Switch?
I don't know. That'd be something our producer can
That'd
look
be a good game to put. Do you remember Atrian Odyssey? That was a pretty sweet DS game where you had to draw the map as you explored the dungeons, right? Very old school, very difficult, extremely grindy game. That had ridiculous number of secrets that you could never find unless you went online to look them up. Very, very old school in that sense.
So one of the big ones that they announced was Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Shin Megami, no idea what that is.
Yes. So, again, it's a.
Is this like the hardcore Nintendo?
Yeah, right. Like this was definitely one of those. This is one of those Atlas. You know,
what did they talk about Animal Crossing? What did they say about Animal Crossing?
Nothing. So that's the thing, right? So this was the third party. So everyone's still waiting on a Nintendo Direct, like an actual Nintendo Direct.
They just dropped the swim patch on. Oh, what's this now? What's with the crappy music on these trailers, dude?
What is this? What is this? This is old, isn't it?
That looks like it's on the DS.
Yeah, it's on the 3DS.
2019 though. Yeah, that's an old game. Unless they put it on a Switch just to make me happy, right? Yeah. Thank you, Atrian Odyssey. That was great though. Those old games were great. I really enjoyed those Atrian Odyssey games. But right now it's just been Animal Crossing and Outland. I've been playing a bunch of that game as well.
Outland.
Mm-hmm. It was part of that itch.io package. It's just like a little turn-based, got to travel across the country. It's like Oregon Trail, except more modern and with aliens. It's really difficult, extremely difficult game that makes me gnash my teeth, but I'm enjoying it. You get dogs and supplies. You got to fill up your car. It's like $30 on Xbox, but I got it $5 for that itch.io thing from way back when.
So, did you see this? Again, we're talking about older games now.
Is there dysentery in it? No, there is not. So it's nothing like Oregon Trail. Now that I mentioned it, I will revise my statement rules. Thank you. It's more of a travel the world. Worms Armageddon. What? Why? What?
21 years after release.
Who is still playing this?
Everyone. Apparently, it's still one of the most popular games. And I mean, they've got Worms. What is it? WMD, Worms of Mass Destruction, which is kind of like a sequel to this.
Oh, Studio's still out there.
Team 17 was like, people are still playing this. Let's release a patch. This game came out in 1999.
That is
21 years after release.
There are other games that have done that, right? I feel like there are other games who've done, big patches after a big long time like that, right?
I don't know, man. Like, this is literally 21 years.
Oh my God, I cannot believe this is too many memories.
Oh man, it's so much fun. You want to talk about a battle royale game?
Yeah.
Apparently they're adding like 64 worms on the screen at once now.
95% of the fun was cluster bombing your own team, though.
Cluster bombing or ninja roping, dropping dynamite, and then ninja roping away.
That's when you knew you were with the rigged matches, though. That's when you knew you were playing with the hardcore players when they ninja dynamite.
Oh yeah, they Spider-Man across the.
And you're like, this is trash. Log out.
But yeah, the online, 370 different fixes. That's kind of amazing, man.
That is stunning. I should see if my daughter might enjoy this. She might.
Totally.
It might crack her up watching this sort of like ridiculous animations and destructions of worms going on.
Look at this mayhem going on the screen. It got me really excited to play it again.
It does look crazy now, right? Zombie Wolf Lord?
6 players, 48 worms may enter the battlefield.
Right, because you have a team of 4, right? No, wait.
Yeah.
Team of 8? 6 players, 48 worms. 6 players, 48 worms is 8 worms a player,
I think
right?
so.
Wow.
Yep. Form alliances on WormNet. Engage in global online.
What a world we live in, right? What a world. 21 years ago, they spent $49.99 on this game, though, right?
I don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I didn't pay for games 23 years ago, right? We were all pirates back then. So
Oh yeah. we were all dominant. We were all downloading from the Supernova.
It was the pre Steam days where we can get all the DRMs.
Kazaa, Supernova, hitting up that CD keys. What is it? CD keys, the cracks, getting all the CD.
Oh, the cracks where you had to like drag it over your CD.
Crackworlds.org.
What an awful hobby that is now.
You know what the best part about all of the about all the CD keys was the scene having all those like cool electronic music intros.
Yep.
There's actually a whole collection of them online.
Really?
Yeah.
Someone's collecting. Oh
yeah, because gosh. yeah, absolutely.
Yep. That's another one. Mount and unmount CDs. God, I'm having flashbacks. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, so, you install your Damon tools. Mount your CDs.
Wow, you can listen to this guy with his black hat references. No, I'm kidding. I had to get help from friends, and then once I figured it out, I was doing it all the time. It was good stuff. Good stuff. What else we got, Joe?
What else we got? Another one. Let's talk about other games, and kind of a big one, I think. This was announced actually today.
Wow, okay. Leaving Steam is kind of a big deal.
Leaving Steam, going free to play, and going onto the Epic Store. You can now unify it with Epic Games account.
Wow, that's
They want that. They want to be on the same launcher as Fortnite.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
You would open up the launcher. It would be another free-to-play game, and it would be cross-play across all consoles.
This is like, it combines two of my least favorite genres: driving games,
but it's so much fun.
Sports games. Yeah, it's fun for like 2 matches. I really enjoy it for like 2 or 3 matches.
Really? Oh my God!
Oh,
my kids play it. I can hop on with my kids and play it because it no skill. Like really no skill. Like it's like one button to jump. One button for nitro and then control. Yes, there is a level of skill to.
Yeah, my problem with the game is that if you don't have skill and you're playing with even one player who does,
they'll destroy.
Yeah, it's not fun anymore, right? You have to sort of always play at your own level.
Yeah,
with everyone in that game. There's no equalizers. There's no way to get unless you get good, right? Which again is the complaint of a 40-year-old casual. But it's a driving game. Sometimes the physics don't make any sense to me. The soccer ball physics don't make any sense. It's a beautiful looking game though, and is always fast, which is what I love. What I love about it. So when we play it, it's really fast, and we're done. Then we can play Night Squad or other multiplayer games that I love playing.
So let's go into the dark side, since we mentioned Damon tools. We mentioned
the dark web.
I'll let you run point on this one.
So this was after. Did we not talk about it last week? I feel like this came out last week. This ridiculous.
It was announced right after we went live.
Yeah. So we don't have to show the full trailer, but it's a game, right? It's one of those FMV games. Look, we're gonna get shut down, right? So it's one of those FMV games, right? Full motion videos where you play as a moderator for a gamer girl. So already you could tell that it's relying on all of the tropes and stereotypes of gamer girls.
Let me take a drink.
Yeah, it's also relying on the stereotypes and tropes of bad gamers, right? So you got to have both, and you try to play this moderator. There's bits and pieces that are a little saying. There's a point where they show the sort of every decision matters, and you can see that a lot of the chains all come together.
But does it involve like stalkers and?
There's stalkers. I think there's a horror scene, so it's like a horror game, but the trailer doesn't do a good job of providing that. So like, I think the developers were something to the effect of like, it talks about the like toxic community, but it's clearly produced by the toxic community. So
right. It definitely knows. It's very aware of its shortcomings and embraces it.
And it had some women who were involved in the production of the game, so there might be some feelings of knee-jerk reactions to it. But based on that trailer, like it's clear that they have a certain message. Yeah, I'm amazed someone made this game, Rolls. It's 20. Sorry, I missed the second part before I agreed with you. Yes, nothing should shock us anymore, but here we are. And this game clearly is made for the shock effect. And I imagine it's also to own certain, the SJWs, the social justice warriors, or whatever you want to say, to get them upset, right? And then to say, oh, but it has women writers, had women actors, right? Improv.
Yeah, it's bait.
Yeah, it feels like it felt that's a great way to put it. It felt like bait.
It was made by a very toxic creator who probably hired people that for diversity purposes, just so that when that community came out to like bash it, they could go, "Oh no, but look, it was made by," and it's like, and then the developers are like, "But we tried to make it," but in reality, the people pulling your puppet strings, they knew what they were doing.
To rile people up, and it looks like with full motion video, you can sort of do the video, and then the game elements are basically iPhone 1 games, right? And they're not as involved there. And yeah, it looks like a live dating game. You're totally right there. And wait a minute, turning in my copyright paperwork for Ken and Karen game tomorrow. All right, I think that's yeah. Let me know how I can sign off on that. I will definitely invest.
I will play the crap out of that. It is kind of like a dating sim game in the sense that it's all like it's scripted. It looks like they filmed a bunch of different like choices, kind of like a lot of the dating sims, and then like whatever choice you make, you'll get a different video. It's very old school, like Night Trap or.
Those are making a comeback though. There's studios out there that's sort of making these full motion videos.
Again, everything loops back around. Everything retro comes back, and now that we've got high definition video, I mean, those FMVs are more realistic. They're more. Yeah. So
you can integrate the video better. You can make it look pretty cool, right? I don't know that they weren't appealing to me like back in the day when you had to play them on the Sega Genesis CD attachment. What was the
Sega CD? Man, it's Night Trap.
Night Trap. Is that the name of it?
Yeah, the Slumber Party one where you kind of they busted. I played it a little bit on stream. A few about.
Oh shit! I don't even remember the Slumber Party one. That's an excellent reference. Night Trap.
It's actually been recently re-released.
Of course, it has been because everything old is new again. Yeah. They always tap into the nostalgia factor for us.
Yeah, Night Trap on 25th anniversary.
25th anniversary.
So here's like the first.
35th, not 25th.
38 minutes of gameplay, but if you remember this was a. So again, it's got like sensor. Like here we go. Let's see if I can get to the actual gameplay.
Oh my gosh!
And of course, the video was all remastered, so obviously it's running at. But this is the interface, right?
Because you're like watching security cameras?
Yeah. Or
Jeffrey, don't be so selfish.
Oh my God, look at the outfits. This is how we dressed back then, everyone. This was the height of fashion back in the day. Also, the most empty apartment ever.
You're like watching all the different scenes and captured. See the bottom right, it says captured.
So you're trying to capture something?
It's the people that get captured.
Oh,
possible 10.
I was so afraid you decided not to come.
Wow. All right.
Oh yeah, it's this game is like a cult classic. It's like a B movie in video game. But these are people that are in your house already that are like.
Oh God, yeah.
So the choices you make, the videos, flip back and forth, different cameras, different rooms are empty at the moment.
What a profound memory this is. So this was Sega CD, but that wasn't 25 years ago, right? 25 years ago wasn't Sega CD. Sega CD was like 35 years ago.
Yeah, 30. Yeah.
All right.
This was yes.
I was gonna say I was 35 years ago. Wasn't 35? 30, maybe 30.
Sega CD, remember the Sega CD came.
I think I was like 12 or 13.
The Sega CD came out to extend the life of a console.
I remember you put it on top, and you had
you get the Tower of Power, man. You build upwards to the sky to appease the amazing Sega gods.
Sad, cautious story is that my tower was stolen when my dad's house was broken into the weekend before Christmas. The tower was stolen. All the gifts were stolen. Everything is stolen.
All right, folks in chat, I'll ask the question. I'll ask it. How many of the gifts that you got were for the products that were stolen?
Of course, they all were. But the gifts that my dad had purchased were all stolen. But the ones that my mom had purchased, which were coordinated via a divorced set of parents, were no longer appropriate, as I no longer owned those systems that were at my dad's house. Yeah, no. The best part is when we called the cops, they accused us of having sold them. So that's New York City police.
New York City,
police, for the record.
Yeah. Hashtag defund.
Not changed at all in 30 something
Not changed in
years.
30 something years. Amazing. The week before Christmas, yeah, I sold my kids' console and then bought a bunch of gifts that pertain to it.
Yep. I didn't want to ruin my kids' Christmas, so I pretended it all got stolen. Returned it to the stores. Yeah. So, yeah. Memories. Don't be sad. This everything that doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Dead on the inside, I'm so alive and strong on the outside.
Look at that shirt. That shirt says how much. That shirt alone.
Summer living. Sexual coconut buttons.
Asking 130 days in solitude.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going into the office 4 days a week, right? So there's.
I know, right. How's that been for you?
It's all right. I mean, the thing that sucks the most is having to wear the mask, right? I mean, it's sad that we're all used to the mask now. We got to wear it in the office. Actually, the thing that sucks the most is that I wear the mask all day, but I have coworkers that figure out every possible way not to wear it, right? So there's a lot of shenanigans. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
So again, we finally got this on Steam.
Yep, I saw that. A buddy of mine who used to work for this company was very excited to see it finally coming out. Very nice. BioWare. I never played it.
Really?
Never played it. But I mean, there should surprise no one as I'm a Star Wars purist. I have zero interest in the Old Republic. Zero interest. None. It's because it's full of Jedi, right? Who cares about the Jedi? Am I right? Nobody?
Isn't that why shouldn't you be the biggest fan for Galaxies?
I could not wait to play a chef in my game. I could not wait to be a Star Wars chef. Grind out 32 levels and make a recipe and cook it. Stuff, whatever.
Man.
Tough crowd today. Come on.
Crowd tonight.
It's this cautious troll shirt. Adam DJ Brett, every shirt I wear is my troll shirt, for the record. Every single shirt, I troll it. Which is a pride in the old one. You know who likes to troll? My kid. My kid loves to troll, for the record.
So in our weekly talk about GoldenEye, apparently it's being remade in VR. Is this? We talked about it last week, right?
Yeah, we talked about it last week. There's
there's new footage of it now. Like there's.
Well, isn't that game a VR game?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying, like I think we've got.
What's it called? Something Alex? The Half-Life?
Yeah, Half-Life Alex. Yeah, Half-Life Alex.
Are we putting up more levels? Oh, it looks fantastic.
Wow. How did that's how you know that the producer and me are on the same wavelength? I can literally switch between my stream and his stream, and it's the exact same spot.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
Is this the dam? Oh,
yeah.
Heck yeah.
Look, the AI is still as broken as ever.
When you say broken, you mean amazing, right? Come on, this is GoldenEye. So yeah, all right. So they still have to use the items in the game, right? They should have that pop up in the VR in front of you when you cheat. So they're rebuilding the single player campaign.
Yeah, the entire single player campaign.
That is amazing. I thought the one I read was they were just building the multiplayer maps, but this is. I will never get used to the way people move in VR. That particular jumping thing.
You just can't. I mean,
I know. You can't emulate the running thing, but it's.
Actually, you have an option, right? Like some games,
you can stick, right?
You can still move and you can still move around like a control. I think I'd prefer that. I don't know if I'd like to teleport just like instantly be in one spot.
Look at this guy. He's like, oh, what's that? That didn't even make a noise. Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Rules. You could never remake GoldenEye. Too many companies are involved in it. There's no way.
They've already done it. Like, I don't understand. Like, this is like it's already been done. GoldenEye on the Wii was done.
Yeah, but nobody owned a Wii. Come on.
What are you talking about? Everyone owned a Wii. Every grandmother and grandfather owned a Wii. The Wii was like everyone had a Wii. Everyone had a Wii.
Not me.
Not
everyone
you.
else had a Wii. I did not have a Wii.
I
But I
can't-
wasn't. I'm not a Nintendo fan, right? I didn't like the idea of movement. I just didn't want to bother.
This was the Wii remake, and again, I thought this was a pretty good.
This was a pretty good remake, as I recall.
So there's the dam right there.
Yeah, but wasn't there like a motion movement you had to do that made it?
No,
like,
this one actually in the box. It shipped with a gold control pad. It shipped with a gold pad. I thought that was pretty neat.
No, I mean
It's like looks exactly the same as Alex. Look, you can still walk right up to them. They still don't know.
Get the advanced terabits. Shirt game is strong tonight, boys. Thank you. Summer living, summer enjoyment, watching GoldenEye videos, because we have nothing new to play. Is that what we're? Is there nothing new to play? Has everything been made?
Has everything been made?
No, the answer to that question is no, Joe. There are thousands of new games to play. GoldenEye was great. Had some great multiplayer maps. We can play some new games, right? What are you playing now? Joe's like nothing. I'm playing Streets of Rage 3 or 1 on the Genesis. What are you playing?
I was playing my PlayStation 2 last night.
Of course you were.
So, let's talk about that. So, before I hop into what I was doing, how was let's go jump into some tabletop real quick. So we had our Friday D&D, and then what did you do this Sunday as well? You also had D&D.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm running back-to-back D&D games. They're great. They're very different games, which is kind of nice, right? So fans of the show will know that Fridays we play sort of an old school D&D style game, and you're in it. Our producer's in it. Adam DJ Brett is in it. And y'all did great. You took on a whole den of kobolds and managed to survive, right? I think only the wizard went down a few times. And it's fun. I think we've now in a rhythm where we're not fighting so much with the DM and just accepting rulings and moving on with the actual game, which is great. We got to work on not dying, but you don't permanently die, right? Because 5th edition is actually harder to kill people in, even in our hard mode. And then Sunday we had I think a great night. I think we're in the end game now. The players are 8th level, so usually my campaigns end around 10th level, and I think the story is building towards hopefully a climax. I don't know if the players are fully aligned on what that climax is, so that's what we're working on. What do we want to end the campaign at, without specifically talking about it, because there's spoilers and all that stuff. We're doing the Waterdeep scenario in Neverwinter, and it's going really well. So I'm excited for that sort of end game to pop up. They just had a loot. We just dropped a ton of loot on them because I keep forgetting to give them magic items. So I just dropped a lot of magic items on them in D&D to sort of bring them up to where they should be at 8th level, which is great.
So what
are you playing?
What, 8th level?
8th level, yeah.
Wow. That's a pretty beefy campaign at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, your campaign, y'all ended at 10th, right?
Did we?
Yeah.
10? Man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you left at around, I want to say 7, right? You took on the dragon and you left, but I think the campaign ended at 10. The campaign after that ended at around 9 or 10. I think they made it to 10. Yeah, this is true. So this right here is very true, right? My Sunday group definitely cares more about the emotional payoffs, which I want to talk about at a future point, right? So I think I've talked about it before. D&D is the main brand. So like a lot of people, they're like the Kleenex of role-playing games. People don't talk about, or the Xerox, right? People talk about role-playing games and D&D interchangeably. This is one of those campaigns where I wish we could play a different rule set to run it, because there are so many better rule sets for running the kind of campaign they want to play, but because everyone knows D&D, and because I like D&D, we wind up playing D&D, and bolting on the mechanics is tough for a political game, which makes that Waterdeep scenario very interesting and weird. But there are other I'm looking forward to playing some indie games. We talked about this. I'm looking forward to playing some indie games after this campaign's over. What are you playing right now, Joe? I'm just curious because we're live.
I'm grabbing.
We are live right now. People are watching you stare at the wrong screen, wrong camera. Can we get this producer? Can we get this guy fired? What's happening here?
Yeah, what's happening here? So, I haven't been working. I haven't been playing anything this week. There's been some project management, some cleaning house as usual. It was my wife's birthday this past weekend, so we kind of celebrated. I chose the weekend to spend more time with her.
Didn't you spend all day Sunday sorting cables? Let's talk about sorting cables.
Well, so we were doing organization in the house, and yes. So on Sunday, projects, right? As geeks, we've been kind of going stir crazy in our 130 days at home, and I was Pride and Prejudice.
It was great. It was a classic for a reason. Yeah, it's a classic for a reason.
That's a reason. So I don't know about you, but you have those like projects that kind of like sit in the back of your head that kind of keep you up at night. And I mean, you being meticulous about the boxing and your like little shoe boxes and whatnot. I've seen it. I mean, I know what you like and how you are with the organization. And so I messaged you when I was doing it as well. But I've had these as a geek and as a hobbyist and as a gamer and as a tech.
And a hoarder and a pack rat.
And a pack rat and a hoarder. I throw away lots of stuff, so don't worry about hoarding. Hoarding is not something. I'm a collector versus hoarder, but there is a line that you can like
easily cross by accident.
Cross by accident for sure. And I tend to purge a lot because I don't want to cross into that line. Thank you. We need some Batman, Mr. Darcy. And I'm sure that exists somewhere.
Definitely.
So I've got boxes and bins of cables. Like every tech, but I've also got not only cables, I've got cables and adapters, but that also bleeds into like old controllers for my retro systems and adapters for the retro systems and accessories for all of that. And so that leads to boxes of stuff that doesn't get put out properly, which then in my brain, I go to bed at night, I lay my head and I just stay awake knowing that those boxes are not sorted.
Mm-hmm.
And I have always gone through the process of like, hey, let me purge some stuff. I don't need this. And then as soon as I throw it away, someone goes, hey, can you fix this for me? They drop it in my lap. And I'm like, oh, wait, I just got rid of that part. I need to fix that every dang time. So I went through and I sorted like 6 boxes.
It looked like you had a big old dresser full of cables.
So that's what I did. I couldn't, I have tried to fix this problem before by taking
wait, let's step back. The problem is that you have a bunch of extra cables for things you already have working functionally in your house, right?
Some of them are functioning, some of them are extra, some of them are for repair purposes, some of them are like, let's
talk hobby, right? What is the difference between an extra and repair purposes?
So having 5 micro USB cords,
right? In addition to the ones you usually use all day long,
right? Is extra. I think by the end of it, I mean I purged some. That's what I'm saying. I did purge, but by the end of it, I had at least 90 micro USB cords.
I was gonna say because everything you buy has a micro USB now, and so you've got all these cords, and you're like, I don't need this. I've got the charger right there filled with micro USB cords. So
I kept quite a few, and the reason I kept a few is because they're good for wire. Every time I need to like make a adapter of some sort, I go grab a micro USB and I clip it, and I've got the USB end now, or I've got this, and I use them as parts. That's what ends up happening. I'd rather sacrifice a micro USB cord that comes with everything than sacrificing a higher price cable.
Sure. I get it. I get it.
But by the end of it, so I have tried organizing this stuff before. I have tried taking bins and like drawers and like stuff under the bed or stuff under cabinets or whatnot, but none of it was accessible enough for me to go, where was that? Hold on, let me go to my cables wire. And then what ends up happening is this.
Yeah. And then you just buy a new one because you're like, I don't want to spend 3 days going through all these cables.
Right. And then I don't find it. I buy the new one, and then like a day or two later, all of a sudden, here it is. I put it in a spot where
every single time. Yes.
Every single time.
Yep,
so what I did was we had an old dresser that belonged to our kids that they've since upgraded. It was only 3 drawers, and we've got 2 kids. Wasn't enough space, but it was sitting in the garage, and it had some like old baby clothes that needed to be donated anyway. and it needed some drawer pulls. So I refurbished it. I said, you know what? Why don't I use this? It's a piece of furniture, and it's a pice of hardy furniture. It's not a plastic bin that's just going to break.
Yep.
And it gives me accessible drawers. So what I did is I took all the drawers out. I added new pulls on them. And then what I did is I bought organizers. I bought drawer organizers, and I went through. And first thing I did is take all those bins. I sat down on the carpet, put some music on, and just like sorted cables, sort what I need, what's broken, what's not.
Nightmare.
But it's almost therapeutic, right? I think you know what I'm talking about. There's like,
no. I mean, the therapy I usually have is I just throw them all in the trash. But yes, I'm like, goodbye cables, be free.
So what I did was I organized them, and the meticulousness of the organization. Just my cables bin, like my cables bin turned into micro USB. USB 3, USB with a B end. It turned in, and then I had one side of this audio video cable. So I had only a stack of HDMI. I had a stack of just AV cords, basically anything with an RCA end. I had a little pile, just a small little bin of anomalies, which ended up being like, this is a 30-pin Apple connector. I don't even have this anymore, but I do occasionally have to fix or repair.
I might need it someday.
Well, no, what ends up happening is I throw it away, and then someone goes, oh, here's an iPod, or hey, can you fix my iPod? I'm like, sure. And then they give it to me, and I'm like, oh, shit, I don't have a charger cord. Here, let me order this 3-pack off Amazon real quick.
Have you ever considered being like, no, I'm not going to fix that for you?
No, because I get money.
That's fair.
That's what happens, right? Like that. People ask how I afford being able to purchase all these knickknacks, and what I do is I subsidize my budget with my repair budget, the hustle money, the things I sell. I sell something I can sell. For example, this weekend, I finally got rid of a console I didn't need anymore. I was like, this is an extra. I packaged it all up. I sold a TurboGrafx 16 for $200.
Nice.
I sold it. I put that money into the pool, and I used it to funnel other funds.
I used to do it too.
So
I sold everything except for that blue bag right back there. That blue bag of board games needs to go.
So that was one project got off my table.
That's awesome. Good for you.
All my tables are nice and organized. There's still some here in the office that I'm still kind of sorting, but they're going to all go out of my office and go into the garage, into the like nice cabinet that I got.
Workshop, we call it.
The workshop. But another thing is, it gave me time to, once I finished all that, it gave me time to work on another project. And this is what I was kind of like sorting up here, was that there was a project that recently kind of came to light, and I haven't posted anything even on my Instagram or on the thing, but a guy that I follow in the retro community called Retro RGB, he kind of did a review / video on this, and I'm not going to put any audio, but this right here, this is a PlayStation 2 running at 1080p, and upscalers, things that can allow you to plug in old consoles to new TVs, are expensive. This one on the left hand side is called the GB control, the GBS control, and this is a $30 device. The one on the right is a $150 device.
Okay, so I'm not supposed to see any difference between the two.
No, what you're going to see here is the fact that they look almost identical, but the price ratio is a big difference.
Sure.
So this device is an old device, actually. The best way to describe it is the GBS 8200. I'm not even going to go into the schematics or the details of it, but this is an old device that China put out, and the whole reason for it was, how do we get old arcade machines to output to cheap VGA flat panel monitors? So they made this little board that allowed you to kind of input the arcade board and output to like a VGA signal. And they had really shitty quality, like they were kind of blurry and whatnot. The community, the retro game community, took these $20 boards and they hacked them. They took an Arduino board and like rewrote the firmware on them to give you all these like web controls. I mean, there's like a web server running on this board that allows you to control it. And so now $30 plus a little soldering, 5 wires of soldering, gives you a device that rivals $150 upscalers for retro consoles.
Okay. Was this a problem you had that this solves?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's great. Because I thought you were already able to play all your retro games just fine without this.
So one of the big things that this particular thing does is, one of the big deals that this device does is one thing that all the big expensive ones can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Is, and again, this is not the venue for me to explain all this, but the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 1 were right in this weird time frame of video, right? Old TVs, LCDs, high definition TV, right? If you want to like break it down, you had old TV CRTs, and then we were started going into like enhanced definition TVs,
Sure.
which was 480p, and then high definition, which was 720, 1080i, 1080p. The video game world was kind of in the middle of all of this because people wanted better graphics. We had video cards on computers pushing better graphics, but we didn't have TVs that could do that. So things started going one way. But in the meantime, the consoles, the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2, the original Xbox, they all did video or high definition video in a format called 480i. And that's interlaced.
That was with the 3 prongs. You put them in the back of the TV.
No. So that 480.
That's how I played my PlayStation.
Right. But when you plugged them in, it through yellow, red, white, you played your game. I don't know if you ever really notice it, but if you try to play those games on an LCD, you notice a shimmer, kind of like everything was like really jittery and shaky.
Sure.
That's called interlaced. What it was doing is it was taking a picture at 320 by 240 and making it 640 by 480 by making spaces, gaps in between, like a blank space, a line, a blank space, a line, a blank space.
Your eyes fill in the gaps.
What it was doing, it was interlacing the video. One frame here, one frame here, one frame here. So it would do this constantly. It allowed the hardware to push more pixels, but not really. It was still pushing slower, but it was allowing you to push a higher res. The problem is when you try to play interlaced video on a new TV, on a modern TV, it hurts your eyes and it looks like crap.
Sure.
So what this device does better than any of some of the higher end products is it takes that interlaced video and de-interlaces it. It removes that jitter and upscales it.
So it puts it back together and does it right.
Puts it back together and for $30, it's great. And being able to play some of these
$30 plus the cost of your retro system plus the retro game all plugged into the. But yes,
right. Pretty awesome. And being able to do that plus like take a console like a PlayStation 2. There's some gems on there that haven't been ported over. I was looking through my libraries trying to find some games that I know I can't play anywhere else, and I was remarkably fond of certain games. And
sure.
Like good example right now, we were talking about like Tony Hawk, the Tony Hawk remake that's coming out. Part 2 is coming out, and I guess it's 1 and 2 that's getting remade. They're remaking it, but part 3 and part 4, or especially part 4 and Tony Hawk 4 came out on PlayStation 2 and was never released on anything else. So you can't download a classic, you can't download a digital version on a newer console. You could either have the disc or you don't have it.
Right.
So being able to play that on a PlayStation 2 and make it look nice on your big TV is kind of fun.
Yeah, that's your jam.
Yeah. That's my jam.
That's your jam. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty awesome. So speaking of collector copies or physical media, which we all know is dead, we should probably mention the one that you just picked up on the Switch, right?
I did. That's right. So physical copies, guys. Untitled Goose Game is up for pre-order by Skybound. They are the publisher that are releasing it. Please, if you can, go throw $30 at this company. House made a fantastic game. It was a completely different genre and made a game that brought us happiness and joy and memes. And owning a physical copy of a game that deserves it. I think a lot of people only got to play it because of Game Pass, which I don't know how much money they make. I don't know what the contractual like money back with something like Game Pass does, but the game is digitally, I think it's $20.
Mm-hmm.
Physically, it's $34, so you pay an extra $15 for a physical copy.
It comes with a nice map. It comes with all sorts of cool.
Yeah, it comes with nice cool stuff. So I pre-ordered it. I'm excited. I'm excited to have. I love that box art. I mean, look at that box art, man. Like that's a great piece of box art right there. Having
an amazing piece of box art.
I kind of want that as a post.
Can't wait to slide it in the shelf and only ever see the red. It's gonna be great.
So yeah, I have I occasionally pull out certain boxes.
No, I know. You
Look at
follow them and touch them and hold them. That map is really the
that map is awesome. I love the map of the entire town. That's a great.
I didn't realize that I had beat this game with my daughter asleep, so I still had it installed on my Xbox because I was trying to do the speed runs, and she was watching me play it. I beat the game with her watching, and I mean, like that laughter was pure joy when she saw the ending. I mean, I don't know what the spoil. I don't know if I could spoil it at this point.
Oh, you can spoil it. So
yeah.
if you're not familiar with the game, right?
Well, I mean, you're a terrible goose, and you do terrible things, and then eventually you steal a bell, and the big mission at the end is to try to bring that bell back to your den. And when you do, your den is full of bells, and when you get back there, my daughter was like simultaneously scandalized and completely like she just like big shit-eating grin on her face. And she was like, I can't believe this. How many times has the goose done it? So then she looks at me and then she's like, wait, how many times, Daddy, have you made the goose do this? And I'm like, a lot, kiddo.
Yeah.
I gotta do the speed run.
So yeah, that's the best part, right? So like you play the game and there are these subtle hints.
Mm-hmm.
Like what gets me is when you play the game innocently, you start it off and like the town people go like they look at you and they go, oh, and they're all mean to you. And I'm like, why are they so mean to me? Like I'm just like I'm just a goose. I'm just a goose. Right. But then you slowly pick at them and eventually they put up the signs that say no goose, whatever, and they start closing stuff up. But it takes a while, which makes me laugh because by the end of it, you realize that you have been terrorizing this town for like a year or two. And so when you beat the game, you grab that bell and then you go to your dragon horde. You're like a goose.
Great.
It's so great.
Good. It's good. And yes, right. This is exactly pull open the drawer and pull out the game.
No! I have a new puppy, folks, and so as I was organizing this stuff, of course she knows to grab certain cords. She'd grab it and then run off with it. I'm like, no, get back with that one. I eventually gave her an old cable, and she was like,
there you go, something to chew on.
It was a micro USB because I don't need those.
Because you have 40 billion of them, which is amazing. I like the post-apocalyptic future. We're going to be wearing armor made of micro USB cables.
Oh, dude, I'm
like wrapping that wire and plastic around us to fight off the zombies.
Like wrapping around my forearms, just like copper shielding, baby.
I have one small drawer full of old cables, and I used toilet paper rolls, like the little paper towel rolls, to sort of stick them in and hold it all together. That's the extent of my cable. Well, my rule is that's the only drawer. All other cables, if they don't fit in that drawer, one has to come out and get thrown away, or
God, you're so rigid. Let them live.
Yeah, the trash.
Let them live. But that's the planet, the copper. What are you doing?
It's either stored in my house or in a dump. It's one or the other, right? Like it's not. I'd rather my house not be a dump. So, what are you talking about? And when you Marie Kondo it, you're not allowed to give it to your friends. That's an important part of the Kondo method. You can't give it to your friends.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't give it up. You can't
What I'm doing is I'm taking away my burden and giving it to you and making it your burden.
But what if it's something they actually legitimately need?
Well, that's different. But do you actually legitimately need all my old, I don't know, iPad 1 power cables? I have 4.
Yes, please send them to me. Tell me more.
I might have to do that.
Tell me more. I get legitimately excited when I find boxes of random tech.
No, I know. I've given you boxes of random tech, and you totally get legitimately.
He does. Uh-oh, the wife came in. Oh, man. Oh, God. Yeah. By the way, just so you know, there is a new CRT in the house.
Is there really?
the little tiny one right there. That one. Right.
What are you gonna do with that one?
That one is a only composite. Only composite. It's a really old.
That doesn't answer my question.
What am I gonna do? It literally is hooked up just to Nintendo. Just to a Nintendo. It's literally like it has a Nintendo, like an old NES.
So in your game room where you have all those nice consoles on the shelf, there's also a Nintendo there?
Yes.
So you have 2 Nintendos. I mean,
am I going to perjure myself?
You're like more than 2.
More than 2. I have more than 2 Nintendos. Of course I do.
That is amazing to me.
So
He can only ever play one at a time, but he's got more than two.
well, I mean, I got a Japanese one and an American one, and then an American
Right.
one that's been modified, and there's three, and and then everything else I own can play Nintendo games as well, like modified in some way, shape, or form. I mean, whose phone can't play NES games nowadays?
What? No. Right. No, but I mean, no, that's different, right? The hobbyist wants to play it on the original system with the original controllers on an original TV. So I understand it and I respect that.
I told you, that's the problem. I'm a hobbyist. I'm a tinker. I'm a tech, and I'm a gamer, right? So like, there's a little bit of everything, and all of them bleed into each other. So the purist gamer in me wants to play it on real hardware, but then the tech gamer in me wants to see what else can I make it run on.
Yeah.
Right.
And the data you means you don't get to play anything, right? Yeah. That's real. I love it.
Hashtag the Mid-Geek crisis.
There you go. And, okay, all right. We got to satisfy the fans here. We got like 4 people. They're clamoring for it. What's
okay.
the prejudice?
All right. So yes, that was, if for folks not in the know or didn't. One of the things that my wife asked to do on her birthday last week was she wanted to watch Pride and Prejudice. I'd never watched it. I honestly have to say that I enjoyed it.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. It's
a classic. It's a timeless.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Over and over again.
What's of course interesting and hilarious is it's one of those things, and just like all pop culture, right? You watch it and then you realize how many things have been referenced on it. Right? Like, it's like going back and watching. It's like Patient Zero. You're watching like the very beginning of all of these other tropes or movies or remakes or whatever. How much
10,000 jokes make sense, right?
Like 10,000 jokes. Wait a minute, yeah, no, absolutely. So now I want to go back and watch all these like things that I know referenced it and be like, oh,
there you go.
I get it.
For your next day. For your next date night, you should do Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf with Elizabeth Taylor, and you'll enjoy that. Richard Burton. You'll enjoy that. Real romantic, really, really romantic movie. Good black and white film. Annie Dennis, George Segal, very good. You'll enjoy that one.
What's your? Let's talk about this just because I want to throw it back to you, Pedro, the other side of the spectrum here. What's a movie or a show that you didn't want to watch but were dragged into? And like eventually you were like, oh shit, this was good. Or maybe the opposite. Maybe you did that to S.
Can I say the latest Star Wars? Is that no? I'm kidding. Oh,
the hot takes in this guy! I swear to God.
Avengers Endgame. No, a movie that I was dragged into that I wound up enjoying. Gosh. That's a hard question to answer because I don't enjoy anything, right? So, like,
I know. I love that he AO'd himself. I love it.
I don't know. Like an old classic movie that I wound up enjoying. I mean, Casablanca came to mind, but only because of the same reason you enjoyed it, right? Pride and Prejudice, because a lot of jokes and references suddenly made sense. One movie that I was surprised that was worth watching that my wife made me watch was Battleship Potemkin. That's a very, very old Soviet sort of propaganda film. And again, this is another one that I was like, wow, this is better than I thought it was. And I also get all these references, right? So yeah, it's worth it for one scene, maybe two. But it's one of those things that you're like, wait, now I'm getting all this formative film. But I don't. Yeah, there's a lot of movies I've watched because I had to as a nerd.
I seem to remember a conversation of you watching something along the lines of the Russian. What is it? The history of Russia or the Russian art? Like, what was it? I feel like there's a story involved there.
So we lived in Portland, Oregon. More power to the folks out there. Hopefully things out there in Portland. We live out in Portland, and my girlfriend, wife now. We went to see this movie called Russian Ark, and it's a 2.5 hour, or maybe 10,000 hour. I don't remember what movie.
Just in between one of those two.
It's all one take, right? So like, there's this amazing where they go from room to room in, I forget the name of the museum. It's in Moscow or St. Petersburg, where they go from room to room exploring all of Russian history. First of all, I know maybe 2 things about Russian history, and they both involved the Soviet Union, right? I don't know anything about Russian history. And it's all one take, so it's exhausting because you're trying to keep track of everything going on the screen. So I actually
Rocky caused a lot of the big collapse on that, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's
what I know about Russian history. I know that Rocky fought one of their big warriors.
But I fell asleep in this film, like 45 minutes into it, and I wasn't old. I was. So she, it's one of those films that will forever be in the book of grudges for our relationship, as she was not appreciative of my snoring in the middle of this art film.
But she loved it.
I think she did because she knew Russian history, right? She studied Russia and she speaks Russian. She knows all this stuff. I don't know anything. I think she was raised in Russia, if I'm honest.
Sleeper agent.
Yes. She's a sleeper agent. All of her references are out of date. They're all like 1920s Americana, and I'm like, this makes no sense. Why did you not grow up here? How do you know not know what Scooby Doo is, right? So yeah, so it's
whoa! You buried the lead there, sir.
She knows who Scooby Doo is. She knows.
Apparently, did she not when you first met the sleeper agent?
It wasn't really like the Scooby Doo. It was the experience of Saturday morning cartoons that she was not familiar with. And one of those things where I'm like, every kid did that, right? If they had a TV, they watched Saturday morning cartoons. And then they watched them all in a row. So you'd watch Scooby Doo and then the other rip-off Hanna-Barbera shows that ripped off Scooby Doo and things like that, right? You knew the Super Friends. You knew all those shows and you knew which one was coming next. She doesn't know any of that, which is weird to me. So I believe she was raised there. Seven Samurai, yep. Oh, yeah.
Anything Kurosawa, right? Like, a lot of people will appreciate it or not, right?
Geez, yeah. I think Kurosawa you either appreciate it or not. If you don't, though, I feel like you didn't watch the right Kurosawa, maybe, or you weren't in the right.
There's a few, right? Like, there's many of them, and you'll eventually find the right one.
Well, that's some deep nerd cuts here on the Mid-Geek Crisis at the end.
And we're old. I mean, we're talking like I'm sure that some of our viewers are like, Kuro who?
No.
Like, how many animes, for the weebs out there aren't based off of like Kurosawa?
Yeah,
man, that's definitely something I have learned to appreciate. I have watched many a Bollywood movie, and I understand. Yeah. So that's definitely one of those things.
It's real. It's a real genre. It's weird because I feel like I've seen really good Bollywood, and then when I see really bad, I'm like, oh God, I don't understand this at all. Right? Like,
everyone should watch the 7-hour cut of Lagan, right?
Who's got time for that?
I mean, come on, you have to, right? Like,
too busy rewatching all the Lord of the Rings, right?
That's all 15 hours. Oh God.
Probably a lot of our time matters, right?
I'm meaning to sit down. We're waiting for the holidays. There are certain movies that are holiday movies for us.
Yeah, sure.
The Harry Potter.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is a holiday movie for you.
Yeah, True Lies, all of
Jingle
them.
Bells. What's the movie called?
Jingle All the Way. This is lies perpetrated by my wife. My wife. I love her dearly. I hate The Graduate. I hate it, and that is definitely one of those movies that she made me watch. She was like, "Oh, you should watch this," and there's all these references. You'll get all these references, and I get them. I absolutely hate The Graduate.
So why do you hate The Graduate? Just one sentence. Why do you hate The Graduate? I also dislike it.
It's predatory. It glorifies. It glorifies this like whole like this male like, oh, it's okay for the cougar kind of thing.
Sure. Oh, like, that's okay.
You know what I mean? It's like that whole like trope, right? It's a trope now where like, oh, cougar this, cougar that. You're always looking for the older woman, the guy, you're the younger guy, the older woman. That's okay. But then like the opposite is seen as scandalous, right? Like an older man and a younger woman is seen as like, oh, but we had a whole movie that's considered a classic of the opposite. And it's still both the predatory nature of both sides of it would still work. Like she took advantage of a younger kid. Like it's problematic, super problematic.
That's my complaint. That's my big complaint. You pull that VHS tape off the shelf when you're 14 and the bodega guy's not watching. You bring it home and you're like, "What is this trash?"
Yes. That's it, right? You're like, oh, what was it? It's the leg,
It's
right?
the leg. Yeah, and you're like, all right,
It's the
yeah.
leg. Yeah. And he's got his shirt with
It's
his
supposed to
coat.
be filed in the wrong place. I'm gonna take this out. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, nope. It just doesn't get. I don't get it. I don't get the. I mean, I get the references now. Like, there's all sorts of jokes. Like, I mean, like for example, what is it? Austin Power? No, not Austin Powers. Wayne's World. Wayne's World does a big old like.
I think The Simpsons satirizes like 4 times across.
Yeah, of course. It's a classic, but it's constantly made fun of. And now I got it once I watched it. But then at the same time, I'm like, this is what everyone likes. Like, this is the movie. Like, come on.
The ennui and emptiness of middle class white America just
Also,
bores me.
I hate the soundtrack. It's like the same 3 songs over and over. I don't need to know about Rosemary and Thyme.
The spirit of trolling goes to you.
God, I hate. Was it Simon and Garfunkel, right?
Oh, I don't know. I think they played at CVS on rotation now. That's my
Look,
it's the soundtrack to Waiting at Walgreens. That's what
it's
that
the
movie is.
same. Like, if I have to hear Rosemary and Thyme the 15th time in a row, I will kill somebody. It is literally like my Russian sleeper agent trigger. If I hear it, I immediately like.
I'm of the opinion that everything before 1980 should not be played. But that's.
Love it. Love it. I'm sorry. Hot take, everybody. The guy that loves everything.
This has been the Hot Take Crisis. We're delivering hot takes on your musical taste, movie taste, video game taste. All of your tastes suck. Versus the best.
I love Simon and Garfunkel. I love Simon in general. Is the fantastic. Garfunkel? Who? What? No. Yeah. No, it's fantastic. I just that soundtrack, the reuse of the same 3 songs or 2 songs or the one song, I think, over and over again through the whole day.
I think it's actually like 13 songs for the record, Joe.
They just all sound exactly the same. Is that like Mannheim Steamroller?
Joe and I disagree on a lot of things, but here we are.
Here we are coming together, bonding.
This guy coming on.
Not even once.
They did talk about plastics, though.
They did talk about plastic. They did. Oh man, yeah, I know, right? I love bad movies. The Graduate is just not. It is literally one of my most hated movies.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know. So now you know.
I do. That's a weakness, Joe.
Dude, I show you the kinks on purpose. I'm like, here you go. Take a stab. I gotta. This raises a lot of questions. Gotta live your truth. Oh God, I love it. I'm triggering Adam out of everybody, guys. I love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Hate it. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, folks.
Thank you,
on a high note.
So, you have some fodder to attack me with. 85 episodes in, I hate The Graduate. Feel free to send me clips of Simon and Garfunkel. I promise you, it'll be great. It'll be great.
I love it. Thanks, folks. Have a great, safe summer. Thanks, Vagabond Joy, for coming on.
Guys, stay tuned. Again on the 27th. Go, guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, friends, folks, countrymen, and women. On the 27th, Microsoft will be having their event. I'll probably hop on and live stream / comment online, kind of like I did with the PlayStation 1. And here we go.
Catch the sibling streamers. They're on at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
I think that's when I can jump on, sadly, is 8 o'clock. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Great show. They're playing Star Wars Galaxies, and it's a great game. People are still playing it. You should play it too. That way the economy's finally fixed so that I can be a chef in the game. And be kind, everyone. Be kind. Thanks
like, subscribe, share. Episode 85 in the can. Love you guys.